Talk a little bit about one of my favorite subjects, I guess. It's West Virginia football. No, it's not been anything to write home about lately this year. I wasn't looking at a great winning record this year anyway. I was figuring 6-6, 7-5. There's still a good possibility of that, but it'll be kind of an empty 6-6, 7-5 season. I guess the remaining teams on our schedule have a combined losing record. And that doesn't give me much hope anyway, because the remaining teams on our schedule are, I think, by far better than William and Mary and Georgia State. Both of them gave us a bug tussle we just don't want to have again. We never know what team's going to show up. Most of the games this year, save for one, the Baylor game, defense has played pretty good. Top shelf, maybe not, but they weren't down in the basement like they were last year. They've been playing some pretty good heads-up ball. I expect them to get beat some plays and everything. It's football after all, and that stuff happens. My big disappointment is the offense. Yeah, I know, we've got a brand new quarterback going out there, no matter who's out there, of the three we've been running. And, we kind of expected some growing pains there. An all-new receiving core, expected some growing pains there. Now we've got two positions on the offensive line that are filled with newcomers, no matter what way you look at it. But we've got three seniors out there on that offensive line, or third-year, fourth-year players, that have showed no improvement at all. And, it's not that I dislike them or I love them or in between. It's not that. It's just the fact that they ain't getting the job done at any time during the game. 3, 4, 5 plays a game where they actually do a good job is not enough. We've got a couple of 3 good running backs back here. Hell, we've got a whole stable of good running backs back there, but you can't tell it. These guys are getting hit by the defensive linemen before they're getting the ball on the handoff. That's how bad our offensive line is. They back up on a run play. And they really don't back up. They stand up. I played offensive lineman for a long time. I even played a little bit of college. Am I an expert? No. Am I a coach? No. But like a lot of the experts that I read their posts, you don't have to be a football player or ever played football to know how to know football. Well, I agree, because I played about 13 years of organized football, so I do know a little bit of football, and I played it all on the offense and defensive line, so I know a little bit about what a lineman does during a football game. And what an offensive lineman does is he hits someone, he blocks someone. I go on the blue and gold board here and I read all kinds of excuses for these guys not getting the blocking assignments or whatever. And they think a blocking assignment, I guess the non-players who are the experts think that, you've got a diagram there and you block number 66 no matter what. If he's in the parking lot, you go out and block him. No. When that ball snapped, that defensive scheme is going to change every blocking assignment you had for damn near every play. Because of stunts, blitzes, and everything else, you don't know exactly where there's a guy lined up in front of you. Well, he might be doing a loop around, crossover with a linebacker or whatever, and all of a sudden he's not there when the ball snaps. Who do you block? Do you just stand up like our guys do because your guy disappeared? Or do you hit the next guy you see, the first guy you see? And that's what you do. An offensive lineman's basic job, I don't care if you run the rear offense, spread offense, wing tee, power eye, whatever. A lineman's job is to block. On, inside, outside. No matter what the play is. If you line up and there's a man directly on you, that is your assigned block. Regardless if the play is coming right up your butt, going clear out on the other side of the field. The guy lined up on you is who you block. If you come out there and you line up and there's no one on you and he's in the gap inside of you toward the center, that's now your man to block. Because he's not on you, but he's inside of you. And again, if the play's coming through that hole, then you definitely have to block him, and you have to block him down. That means you take the angle and you just keep him going on down the line. You push him out of the way. You don't bump him. You don't roll over in front of him. You don't stand up and push him in the back. You're up on your toes, your ass is higher than your head, and when the ball snaps, you spring. Like a coiled spring, you come off that stance and you fire into the guy in front of you, or inside of you. Or if you come out and he's not on you or inside of you, but on the outside, he's in the gap between you and the far side of the center. That's who you hit. That's your assignment. That's the rule. That's the golden rule. On, inside, outside. If every lineman does that, then the play should work to a certain degree of success, plus yardage. When you go out there and line up and you're on your fingertips and your ass is, you look like a frog getting ready to jump, you're not ready to block anybody. You're ready to get torn in half. Your first move at the snap of the ball is you have to stand straight up. You have to catch the defensive lineman. You're beat. You're not blocking that man. You're assisting him plug the hole up. You've changed the flow of the play simply because you can't move forward. If the play's coming to your hole, that hole isn't open. You're standing in that hole straight up, getting driven back toward the runner. If it's beyond that hole, you're still getting pushed into the play path. Quarterback might step on your foot, or you step on his, or you get both feet tangled up, or you hip bump him and knock him down. Same with the runner. Pass play, you keep backing up, backing up, backing up. You do come back. Ball snap, you come up, and on a pass play, you can actually go forward with your initial block. And you give up the back motion as need be. You don't give it, you don't pedal backwards into the quarterback. You stand your ground. You have those yards behind you to slowly give. I think our offense would do just fine if that offensive line maybe had some knowledge of football. You know, the experts say, well, it's a transition to coaches every year on the offensive line. Well, the offensive line coaches' philosophies are all just about the same. Block somebody. Block. That's your job. Block. After you hit the first guy, move up to the next guy and block him. As long as you're on your feet, you should be hitting somebody. If you're not on your feet, you should be crawling after them, trying to get in their way. If you're not doing anything, you should be on the bench watching the game like everyone else, because you're not helping the game. Yeah, I played for some pretty good coaches and everything. And for midget league right on up through the college level, and they all had the same philosophy. We ran different offenses in every division, at every pace, and we changed coaches and changed offenses from season to season. It didn't take us 3 and 4 years to learn how to block. And that's what amazes me, that we get linemen at West Virginia that are 3- and 4-star linemen in the rankings and everything, and our coaches tell us, well, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to develop. They've got to learn the scheme. Well, then how long does it take a quarterback to develop? Because they've got 1,000 more things to do and remember than a lineman. The lineman's just got to remember the ball snap count, and that he's got to fire forward and hit somebody, and keep hitting somebody until the whistle blows. That takes 3 to 4 years. Then we're recruiting the wrong linemen. Another thing I see is we have no strength and conditioning. These guys are getting way tired, and they have no upper body strength to speak of. Not that matches the guys against the line of scrimmage for them. Nowhere near. The stamina, the strength. They just don't have the direction. Now, are we recruiting linemen who play football, or are we recruiting athletes who are linemen? That's what I see successful teams year in and year out do. They recruit athletes who happen to be linemen. Might be 300 pounds, but they can dance over butterflies. They can move. No, they're not 4-2ers, but they're 5-0ers, and that's all it needs to. That's good for the line. We're talking 3 yards. We don't have that. We don't have any guts. We don't have any desire on the West Virginia offensive line. We don't have any identity for damn sure. Outside of Egar's long hair, I guess he thinks he looks like Thor or someone like that, but he sure as hell don't play like him. He gets whipped and beat around all the time. Yeah, I know they're college kids. I played it. If they can't take some criticism and everything, quit school, join the military, and go fight in the war. Nobody will hurt their feelings over there, I guess. But as is, I'm a West Virginia football fan. I pay to get into some of the games. I pay to wear their t-shirts and hats. And if I'm not happy with them, I'm going to say I'm not happy with them. And I'm not happy with what I see on that team. I don't see any connections. I don't see any leadership at any level. Dana Holgorsen might have been a hell of an offensive coordinator, and he might have been a hell of a quarterback developer. That sure as hell hasn't proved to me that he's anywhere near being a head coach who controls the whole team competently, knows what he's talking about, knows what he needs, goes after what he needs. I don't think Holgorsen can see what he needs in a recruit. I think he sees what he wants to see in a recruit, or what he thinks he can make a recruit into, and not take the recruit and develop what's there, what got you interested in him to begin with, what's made him successful to get you to the point of offering him a scholarship. And I think it's going to be that way as long as he's coach. I don't have any confidence in this coaching staff at all. And the biggest part of it is there's no connection to West Virginia in this coaching staff. There's no pride in West Virginia in this coaching staff. No coach that grew up and said, "This is my home. I dreamed of this place when I was a kid." And I think until we get something like that back, we're going to be 6 and 6, 7 and 5. Year in, year out.